Welcome to Checking In with Dr. B, a space designed for conversations, live conversations with those who have found and lived their joy. Today we're checking in with Freddie Harris III, amazing musician, producer, and so much more. Welcome, Freddie.
How you doing, Doc? How you doing? It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you, Freddie. Good to connect with you. Freddie, tell
Same here.
tell tell us a little bit about your journey in music and life. You know, how did it start?
Man, my story is a story, but let me see. I can minimize this thing for you. My journey so far could go to two ways. You want me to give you since college, since I was
It's
in
up to
Canada?
you. It's up to you. Whatever's making you you.
Let's go from there. Let's go from the Dr. B stuff. Well, first of all, I want to say before I even start, I want to say thank you for showing me a whole nother way, a whole nother life. How I got my scholarship was through the Cheryl Byron competition. So that actually changed my life a whole lot, and nothing been the same since. So coming to college in Florida, I want to say everything in my life that felt like destiny meeting you. So as soon as I got that scholarship in New York. And it was when I got to Florida, I was kind of worried about how I'm gonna deal with the staying situation and all of that. When I got there, Doc, I lived 5 minutes in Florida with my pops from the college. Destiny, yo. So that was one of the main things I always hold on to is how life is like a clock in gears and how everything just kind of work into each other. So since college, the destiny has been different and it changed up. I want to say little quick things, touch on things like I went from just playing pan to being a hip hop producer, and I made it to Billboard. And these is all I made it on the top 200 in Canada. These are dreams that I've always wanted. So it went from just playing pan, and now I'm infusing the trap music and all the different genres of the hip hop music, like the drill and all that kind of stuff. I'm infusing pan with that. So I made it with this guy called Ski Master Slump God. And I made it top three on the Billboard charts in hip hop in Germany, all through Africa, Europe, this, that, the third. So that was an amazing journey, and all of this came came after I left Florida Memorial, and I'm on this new head. I got a degree, and this, that, the third. Which, by the way, Dr. B, I'm really thankful for this degree, but I didn't necessarily use the degree yet up to now. Tell you the truth, right? And I'm very thankful. I haven't used it, but the experience of getting the degree is what puts that extra little oomph inside of you that
The
makes
discipline.
the degree shine in you. So people look at you and they want to know where this experience or, well, how does he get to be this person? It's like, and then what's crazy earlier, you when I asked you, I said if he had anything we wanted to talk about in particular. I saw that the what it was, what makes you happy? Was that what it was?
What
I was
brings me
like,
joy?
you bring you joy, right? Dr. B, I'm not gonna lie. I sat down, I watched that for like about a good 2 hours. Just sitting there like, yo, what really makes me happy? And what brings me joy, like real joy, joy, joy. And then I stopped for a minute and I said, okay, this is after like 2 hours. I sat down and said, you know something? I truly just, my whole life, I get happy just making people happy, being a servant to the joy makes me actually, it brings joy to my body, it makes me happy. For example, if I'm doing a gig or playing pan or something like that, right? This was because I don't think nobody asked me that before. What brings me joy? So this is the first time I actually had to think about this question, and it was kind of cool while I was thinking about it. But it's like I could do a gig or a show or any, doesn't matter. And if I don't see no one romantically enjoying that moment with me, if no one is tapped in, if no one's happy, if no one's feeling joy, then it's almost, I don't care how much I got paid, I don't care how great the gig was, how much mileage I made, how, you know, there was that gig was not a good gig to me. I wasn't happy because the people weren't happy. Now, if I didn't play, I realized this just thinking about it in the past couple hours. If I didn't play too good and it wasn't maybe my best performance, but I know that crowd just went to and they, you know, and it's something that I learned from my father. He would tell me, "Don't complain a hit, Freddie. A hit is a hit. It don't matter how you did it. Good hit, bad hit. A hit is a hit." You know, and from that kind of upbringing and stuff, I realized being a servant to joy actually makes me happy. Seeing people happy, and I know we're in a podcast and stuff, but when I say things like this, I like to draw that relative line and show that you know, that second nature thing that makes people understand what I'm saying. It's like the art of making love. The art of making love. As I got older, and I realized, and I knew this from young too, but as you get older, you start to realize you are at your most joy, serving joy.
Hmm.
It's like the art of seeing someone else climax, making you're happiest, makes you wanna say, wow, oh my God, that was the greatest time I ever had.
Wow.
You know, or so with that example, and I know you get me, Doc.
I
And that
understand.
made me kind of like serving joy makes me seeing it work, seeing joy work. It makes me like that's a bliss for me. Seeing people happy, you know, that's the way I approach my solos. I don't care how boring this gig is. I don't care who sitting down in the back of the room. Nobody's paying attention. When I take a solo or perform for people, I gotta put that art of making love to the music, making love to the person's mind and stuff, so that I can see that joyful art of them enjoying themselves. That now that's like I'm turned on. I was like, oh, for real? Okay, we have it. Now let's take the room to 100 and make everybody clap. We're gonna turn this gig to a show, from a little small gig in the corner to a show, to the biggest concert they ever seen in their life, just because I'm getting happy, making them happy. So that was the best one. When I saw that, I sat and I thought about that till I'm actually talking to you now. I was like, that's what makes me happy.
Wow. So bringing joy to others, giving that,
Yeah,
like that. I
yeah,
like that.
I like that. I like that.
When you were speaking about your journey, you spoke about trap music. What exactly is trap music?
Okay, well, okay, trap music. This is where we at right now in life. Okay, so a couple years ago, you know, music used to move by the decades, basically. Like we'd have 10 years of the same music over and over. You hit same types of chord progressions and X, Y, Z. But it's finally reached to this part where hip hop is the new rock and roll. Hip hop is the new rock and roll. Remember, we used to have these 10 years of all these different gaps of music that was the same forever. With trap music, the genre, like the different genres within the trap music, it has been changing rapidly over the years. Like you get like 6 months of this, 6 months of that, 6 months of that. So it's like hip hop has started trapping these different genres, and
Oh,
yeah, and it's like a fusion. You know, it's a fusion of all the different elements that hip hop has brought, because there's a difference between hip hop music and trap music. Trap
okay.
music is a little bit more dirty. You're from what people consider the dirty South. They
Ah,
call that when you in the hood and stuff. Yeah, I'm from the bottom. I'm from the dirty South. I'm from the bottom of the map. Florida, Opelika at that, where we was at in particular. is
Uh-huh.
where trap life hit me for the first time. I literally had to take a second and digest, like, people selling drugs. It's the art of prostitution. It's the art of bringing that whole everything that is happening in the hood currently
Uh-huh.
together in one ball of music, and everybody bopping. So we the new rock stars. So you turn on NBA TV right now. I just had some beats to about it, production wise, by the way, where they take the beats and they'll play them like on ESPN and stuff like that too. So
Mm-hmm.
different forms of hustling to keep keep the pockets up. But the dang, I was making a point. Yeah, but with the trap music, they got. Damn, I was making sorry, Dog. I'm making a little point, but we putting all the genres together in hip hop, and we're coming up with all these different genres that's changing up of hip hop music that's changing up every 6 months. Is drill, is whatever. It's all these different genres within the trap music, and it's heavily influenced with the art of selling drugs, the art of prostitution in the hood. It's all these little elements of the hood coming together, where everybody comes together to bop their head like this. Now, just like the rock and rollers used to do back in the day, head banging and everybody. This is this is it. You turn on your TV. You go to watch the song for a theme show right now, and it's trap music.
Uh-huh.
Sports channel, trap music is here, and it took over, and it's here to stay.
Well, now you said something. You said the art of selling drugs. I have never thought of selling drugs as an art. How,
Yeah.
where do you go with that?
Dr. B, I'm gonna say it like this, right? What I've learned throughout the years, this I don't want to be quoted with this, right? I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna make a little statement, but I don't want people to hold me to this and feel like, oh, that's the only way to. Da, 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 da. Music has elements, vibes, spirituality, all of that good stuff. We have positive, we got negative, is what you want to consider positive or negative. The art of selling drugs. Nothing is easy to do in this life, Dr. B. I tip my hat to some of these guys. Nothing is easy to do in this life. So everything is like the art of eating, the art of whatever, having sex. Everything is
I
an art,
see.
and especially for me too. Everything is a way to go about it. You gotta, So now the art of trapping, man. If everybody could do it, everybody would do it. And if you don't put this is the part where I say don't hold me to it and don't quote me on this, but if you don't put some of these if they call it negative, if you don't put some of this negative into your music, it's almost like you play. I don't want to hold me to this, Doc. We grown men and women over here, but you play like a pussy. You don't got that gumption in your playing. It's the art of putting a little bit of negative inside it with the positive to give it that gangster approach, that gangster feeling, that man, you got presidents that's trapping. Trapping is like is a way of life. You don't like I don't like to just make money no more. Anybody could make money, Dr. B. I
Right.
like to trap money. When you learn, like I said, the art of trap, when you learn to make these little traps, you're a trap artist too. Don't get it twisted. You're a trap artist too because you know how to set up these little traps. That all you got to do is go back to the trap, open it up, clean out the trap, take the money, and go back home and eat the kill. You ain't
So
even
is
had to
that
work.
so is
Uh,
that balance kind of? So you're bringing the negative and the positive.
yeah,
Okay.
I put the negative and the positive together to create something that's a little bit. It has a little gangsterness. It has a little bad in it, so you could feel it. So sometimes you're playing and you soloing, and a woman might hold on to your notes or your style of play just because it makes her feel like the guy in the jazz club told me. I was playing um Bill Saxon. Bill Saxon goes, he said, boy, you play them pussy notes. He said, you play notes that make these girls get up and want to just and and it's we all do take a walk of life, but if you don't put that little black pepper in your thing. You're not gonna have that little extra thing that make people say, something different about this dude there, yo. He just a little, so that trap life and you're playing, I mean, Dr. B, man, I've been around, spinning around, up, down, back, all around town, around the globe, with just different walks of life. I experienced a lot of things, and I realized when you put all this stuff together in one, you make it work. It works, and it works for people. Like people digest it. It's like you got them in a room with a gun in their waist. Nobody going away. Listen to this music right now. You don't turn it all the way up. I want tips too. I want to do this. Your playing is saying it, and it's almost commanding people to. I mean, we've been on gigs and shows together, Doc, where just to make it even more real, we've been on stuff together where I'm not gonna lie, Dr. B, like some of the gigs, it was supposed to be just a regular thing. It was just supposed to be like a regular ambiance kind of thing. And these things turned into, I remember the crowd coming up and they just tipping us unreal. Everybody walking up and putting money in my hand, and all they keep saying is, "You're here, take it, go to the band." And but this is the early experience of learning how to trap and putting this trapping, the art of trapping, into your playing, into your music and stuff. And I didn't even understand it until I started using this gift as I go on and on and on and in life. And it's like, oh, so not everybody plays like this. Not everybody does this. Not everybody likes to trap.
Yes,
Some people just like to make money. Some people just like to literally go through the gig, come home, drink some coffee, go back to sleep, wake up, go do the gig again like it's routine. Some people actually like to set up these little traps. You're in Indiana now or something? Where you at now? I don't know where you at. That's another trap for you. That comes like a trap now. We was just in Florida trapping together.
right.
We was doing all kinds of things down there in Florida, trapping together. Now you in Indiana. Next minute you in Trinidad cleaning out another trap down there. All these traps got money in it. Don't get it twisted now. You know what I'm saying, Doc? So it's like you cleaning out. Next one, go open up the next. Let's see what's in this bear trap. Let me see what I caught over here. So the art of trapping in your music and even just making money, and not just making money, but trapping the money. It's here to stay. It's not going nowhere. It's here. It's like I say, be the new rock and rollers out here. It's not going anywhere. Trap music is here. They thought it was going to go years ago, and it's still here.
Because
so I'm joined the party.
From the way you've described it, you can take any kind of music and turn it into trap music.
There you go. And that's what I'm saying. It's not just, there you go, Doc. This thing is so universal. It's not just about what you think you hear. And they trapping over. You turn on some of this trap music and you really listen to it, you'll be like, wait a minute, that's Beethoven's Fifth. That's this. That's they're not just trapping over some notes that are dirty and don't belong in America or something. They're trapping over some really these different genres, classical music. As long as you make it go like this, you get that rock bounce.
Yeah.
That's the music.
So where do you see your music, your producing in, say, about 5 years? Where do you see it going?
Okay, so like I said, it's been a journey. So I really want to infect hip hop to another level right now. I need. It's a vendetta for me because I've been doing so much hip hop production and stuff like that. I need to infect that trap music in a way that with steel pan in particular, that it's never been infected. Not saying that it hasn't, because right now some of the biggest trap songs right now is pan affiliated. We're gonna talk even just hip hop in itself. We're gonna go from 50 Cent, PIMP. These are guys that started trapping and stuff like that. You got Soulja Boy, Superman. These are big songs. These are not These are not songs that you just turn on your little AM radio or something. These are songs that made billions of dollars in America, not in America, in the world. You got this other one the other day, Kodak Black from Florida too. He had the one, the dun. That's a big song, you know. And one of the vendettas that I carry on my back while putting this track, while putting pan while playing pan on a bigger scale in trap music is, we the last of the conventional instruments, Dr. B. You know, we not accepted like that. There's a lot of people hearing this, they don't even know where it come from. As much people is playing it right now. There's a lot of American world, there's a lot of people in the trap world that don't even understand what they listening to in that one particular song because they're using it on a keyboard and stuff. So one of the vendettas I have to influence trap music to the point that the trap bands cannot not have a steel pan inside of their band. I don't want to see kick drummer, bass player, and keyboard and artists no more. Just that I want it to the point that, which I've been doing, playing with a lot of hip hop bands, a lot of rock and roll bands, a lot of country and western. I've just played all the odd genres. All the last albums that I've done, there's been trap. I've done, matter of fact, Dr. B, I have in 2019, I did an album at the top of the year. I said to myself, you know something, Fred? You gotta set some more goals. Your dreams aren't, your goals and stuff ain't bigger. That's big enough. Let's go for something bigger. So I said every month I'm gonna make, and you know how I stay with recording. I first learned this process with you, and you're the first person to tell me when I heard the words, you guys need to do an album. You guys need to do some recording and document some music. And when I heard that, I came out with Universal Journey. But on that note, on 2019, I said to myself, I'm going to make an album every month. So I got up every month and I made sure to document an album every month of 2019. I released it the right way. I put it out on using between CD Baby and TuneCore, all the distribution stuff. I got all the, you know how we do as panics. We like to do people cover music and don't go and do the right thing and go and get the rights and pay for the usage of these of using these cover tunes and all of that. I've covered the rights. I did the whole official release. The least of it all I must have done is I did most of the recordings. You know me, I've been trying to be a little engineer for a while now, Dr. B. So yes. I did all the engineering myself, slowly but surely getting better. And I did like about 4 in 2019, like about 4 just all trap albums.
I have a question. Freddie. On the albums, about how many songs are you doing on an album?
12. 12. No less than 12. For me, I don't play. No less than 12. Every album.
And you're doing that every month?
Every month. I did that every month for 2019 all the way to the end. So it has 12 pan albums documented in 2019 that they all go by, you know, January, February, March, April, all the way down to Christmas. And then I kept recording. So between 2019 to 2020, I must have did 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 15 pan albums. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hip hop albums.
Wow, that is a lot of work. And I was really, really glad to hear you say that you're paying for the publishing, everything like that. You know, doing it the right way. That is
everything.
That's really, really good. Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Another question on each of the songs. Do you end the songs?
Yeah, yo, Dr. B, you know what's funny? You know, what's funny is you tapped me into that even a little bit more. Even I still fade out here and there because ain't nothing like a sweet little fade out on a song here and there, right? So a fade out still works. But what's funny is I'm doing an ending to one of the songs about this was before the 2019 experience. I was working on another one of my projects. And I was just about to fade. I'm in the middle of a nice little fade out, right? And I go, yo, I'm dying. I'm laughing. I'm killing myself laughing right now. So all I'm hearing is, Fred, you got to work on those endings. You know, you got to get some proper endings on there. You know? And that's you, Doc. You know, I'm dying laughing. I swear I thought about this was just a couple years ago. I was just, yo, Dr. B, and telling me this ending stuff, man. God, ain't nothing like a sweet fade out, though. You No, but I've been working on my endings, and yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
So, so do you have a new album coming out soon? Because this is what, August?
All right, so that's now this new album now. I've I've been putting out so much music back to back. I've been recording a lot in the house. Like I said, I got my engineering up to a point where things is a lot better than I first started. My mastering is getting a little better, but thou shalt not do everything himself. You know, you have to. You got to reach out and do the right thing. You know what's right. So what's right for me and this new on my new album that's coming up right now is I am not doing no recording, no engineering. Period. I'm over that now. I'm finished fighting that battle. It's over. I learned a lot. I understand the engineering world to a great point. So it was worth it. But my next album that I'm dropping, it's I'm doing it over at Smash Studios. Smash Studios, all live.
Whoa.
I'm going off right now. Yeah, I'm when I say I'm going off, yes, a lot of trapping is going to be influenced in the music.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care if it's maybe just a little jazz song or something that I'm doing. My thing is not to do jazz just like everybody else did it in the world. Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, everybody done did jazz. I'm sorry, you're gonna hear 808s in my jazz. And that's my influence of trap music. You're going to hear some. That's just not just trap music. That's just living in Miami. That's when I came back to go to college at an older age in my life and catching that experience. I want 808s in my music.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Doc. I don't care what nobody here. Freddie boy, play something. No. You go sit down and go play that brush jazz and you go do that. There's a place for that in the world, and you can do it. Don't force it on me. When you hear my stuff, get ready to. Get ready. Cause I'm killing the speakers. I'm 808 up a storm. Let's go. Now, not everything, Doc. I'm over exaggerating, but I just want everyone to know that trap music is here. It's not going nowhere. It's the new rock and roll. And Freddie Harris is definitely the pan man in this trap music. I am not playing. I love it. I'm not here to diss it, to play it, to act like the older folks will say. Because when you're a certain type of musician and you notice yourself, Dr. B, you never get old because you just transcend with everything that's happening. You don't just play it because that is not my thing and I don't listen to that stuff and you transcend with life, and that's how you stay young. And you wonder why all the young kids want to be around. The young women want to love you for whatever reason it is. You want to know why that's exuding off you. It's because you're not putting yourself into that old man or old woman category.
Mm.
So it just comes off all over your body. The person look at you, they think sometimes they look at me and they swear, yo, when I take a shape up and stuff, Dr. B, they swear that I'm 20 something, all kind of craziness. And it's because it's how they see music has a way of painting this picture around you. That if you walk into a room and all you hear me playing is push me to the edge, all my friends are dead, push me to the edge, and you're a young cat and you feeling that bop and you walking, I'm playing Lil Uzi and all that kind of stuff. You done forgot that I'm damn near about to be my early 40s right now, Dr. B. They partying with me like I'm 19 right now. And I love the energy. I love it. That's why, like I say, trap music here to stay, and I'm here with it forever. I ain't going nowhere with it. I love it.
So, in your producing, Freddie, are you working with other artists? Are you still producing? And
Oh,
who are some of the
I'm not
artists
playing
that
that.
you're working with? What areas?
All right, so when once again, right back to the trap lane, really quick. In different lanes too, but back in the trap lane. Ski Mask the Slump God. I made I did an album with him, and I did a single. The single was the leading single from the album, and the single and another single I did with him called "Do I Have the Sauce."
Mm-hmm.
That just went off. Dr. B is the first time I caught a real royalty check.
Wow.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Dr. B. Dr. B. You know, it's one thing when you sell a couple. You know me, I've rolled around. I've done it the hard way for a long time. I work off the ground. I sell my CDs to you right out my hand. Hey, I just did this in my house yesterday. Buy this. So when you see, wait, sorry, I was just gonna make a point. I forgot the point. But what was I just telling you just now, Doc?
You're telling
Sorry.
me about being able to cash those royalty checks, actually getting.
Oh, that's what I'm getting to one particular part of this conversation. The royalty check now. So, Doc, it's one thing to catch those, little checks here and there for music, and a show, a gig, a concert. My God, let me tell you something. When you get hit up on that computer and they say, "Hey, Fred, blah blah blah, you have unclaimed money here for da 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 da." You're sitting on a check, an unclaimed check, and that time you done got all kind of other money from different forms of royalties, mechanic, different. There's not just one form of royalties, and I really got a chance to digest this. Once again, it's the experience. Dr. B, that thing said, I think it was like 50,000. I said, hold on, just sitting there in the background. I know I'm trapping this money, but hold up, I gotta go clean that trap out. Now you gotta go to Harry Fox Agency. The experience. Man, I don't even know how to say this, dog. Is woo trap music. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Ski Mask the Slum God. I was fortunate enough. He's like the biggest artist that I caught the biggest payday with so far. Yeah, because it's not like I said, it was just the royalties. It was the online with the online royalties, the video on it's a lot. Anyway, but Ski Master Slum God is from Florida. He was the one that guy that died, XXX Tentacion. That big artist
Yeah.
the one that got shot in Florida. So
Yeah.
Ski Mask the Slump God and XXX Tentacion came out together. They were a team. I was fortunate enough to get a chance to meet them in XYZ too. But
Oh.
they were a team. They came out together. Ski Mask and XXX split up. They had a big argument, and XXX went his own way. Ski Mask went his own way, and that's when I met Ski Mask and started doing production for him.
Ah,
But
okay.
that's when he would be like my biggest. And Dr. B, I played with so many, other than just that part of being the biggest thing for me, production and music wise. I played with so, and I know you know this feeling I'm about to tell you right here. You meet and play with so much people that it's almost like you forget
Yes.
until you remember.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, greatness. Oh my God, yo. I mean, I could really call, like I could go and start name calling and stuff, Dr. B, but it takes a lot for me to tap into that because I'm always I'm never satisfied and I'm never
Moving
complete.
on.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm always, I forget a lot, and I forget a lot of people that have greatness. Like, I want to just start, rah! But it's like, I almost feel like I forget in this moment of talking to you. It's like, forget who the, oh wow, it's this one, it's that one, it's that one, it's this band, that band, and it's,
But Fred, I
ah,
want to ask you something. I want to ask you something. You spoke about getting the royalty checks, and I think this is important for people who are starting in the business. In order to get that check, what foundation did you have to lay? What did you
that
have to
having, Oh, sorry. No. Ask the question again, Dr. B. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you had to do to make sure, because people do a lot of things, and very often they don't see that royalty check at the end, especially young people who are getting into the business. What did you have to do to lay that foundation?
I mean, as like I said, easy as it sounds, as hard as it is. You just gotta, for one, you gotta handle your business. You can't let the record labels take advantage of you. Number one, you have to have an entertainment lawyer, because that stuff on that paper, I don't care how much school you went to, unless you went to school for that in particular, but I don't care how smart you are, how this, when they put that language on that paper, if you don't got some form of sorry, doctor, if you don't got some form of a entertainment lawyer to handle your points on the record, on the album, this is a point system thing, and you got to know your numbers, and you got to know what these words mean. If you don't have someone to handle your best interest for you, and someone that really, not just a lawyer, entertainment lawyer, but an entertainment lawyer that has your best interest at heart. This is hard to find, Doc. This because people are different out here. But you find that one person that's willing to work with you. That's important. And make sure when you sign on that line that you're not signing your life away. You're not selling yourself for too cheap. You're not being that, it's a lot of things you learn about being that, like I had to, like humbling points for me, things that I had to learn in this process would be me understanding that Ski Master Slump God was a really good, a big artist already. And I had to cut into my percentage of my production percentage for the production of the song itself, of the beat, because of who he was. And I had to be willing, just because who he was and the kind of business that Universal Records is doing, they not playing either, Doc. So, and they standing behind him, so you better have somebody good to stand behind you. So I had to cut with 50%, and we shared that. But then my business skills was also, so he's everywhere that beat goes. This is important for people to know as you go up and bigger and you do bigger things. Everywhere that beat goes, we go together. So if somebody uses that beat that I made with Ski Mask to make another song or something, he's gonna make money with me because I split my publishing 50-50 on the beat. He didn't make nothing, and not to say he sat there and made this beat with me and this, that, and third. He didn't make anything, but this is business, and you gotta understand that. But in return, when you look up who wrote that song, now this is the writers published it.
Right.
Two different things. You know the vibes, Doc. The writer, when you look up who wrote the song, and this is where the money is in the lyrics.
Right.
When you look up who wrote that song together, me and Ski Mask wrote that song together. Because if I'm gonna bend with my publishing and you take it 50 on my publishing, some gotta give with your writers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Back
So
to
I
that
want some money.
balance.
There you go. I want some of that money too. If you taking some of that and yours, okay, but I want some of mine and yours too.
So you're trapping
now
in the business as well.
I was gonna 360 that, but you stole my combo.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna 360 that movement. You stole it from me, though.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're too good a teacher. Sorry, you're too good a teacher.
We traffic, Doc. So I learned a lot of business with that too. It's getting a piece of his lyrics publishing. So now I'm 50-50 on the song with him, and the whole deal for me, I just wanted a 50-50 deal. I didn't want another. It was my first one. I didn't want nothing going to over 80-20, and I'm all at the bottom of the pile. I wanted a nice 50-50 something. 50% of your lyrics, I give you 50% of my publishing, and we go make some money together outside. Here goes the next thing, Dr. B. They got to pay attention, because not because we split the song 50-50, means that I'm going to make 50-50 on this album and this song because now we got the point system on the song. It's a 10-point system. How much you're going to eat as the producer or the whatever you are, artist on this song. And it's out of 10 points. You, the artist, you, the producer, the artist, and the record company has to eat now out of 10 points. Now, your lawyer, back to the entertainment lawyer, this is what you need he or she for. She has to work out the right point system for you now. So you're not just sitting down on, just say the artist gets 4 points, the record company gets 5 points because you know they're not playing. They coming back, they want theirs back. And then you get 1 point because you're the producer, or some half a point kind of craziness. There's half a point systems in it. It's really a technical thing. You can get a half a point. You can get a quarter of a point. So you have to, this is very important. You have to have that entertainment lawyer handling that business for you, and don't thinking that you could do everything like how I'm trying to record my album, produce my album, play on my album. You can't do that when it comes to this music business. You have to have someone in place that understands this, that's not, you can't take no chances, and they got to go out there and take care of you and get what's right for you and your future. Because it's not just you, it's you and your kids to come and your family. But this is how music is generational wealth. When you hit out here with a song like that, and it's, for example, my father, he was able to make some generational money, like with Beautiful Wonderful. When Peter Tosh did his song on Nothing But Love on the Wanted Dreader, you know, Wanted Dreader, a live album by Peter Tosh, that was the lead single on that too.
Mm-hmm.
So You Are So Beautiful. I did that with the band too. Nothing But Love. You Are So Beautiful. I actually did that too, but a quickie little moment amongst the crew, whatever reason. What's that called? Humanities building. Okay. Go back. Anyway, yeah. I had a moment of flashback, but yeah. Also with that too, like I was saying, my father, he had a hit single on Peter Tosh's Wanted Dreader, a live album too. I was that. Fortunately, Daddy taught me a lot, man.
Freddie
Just to
Harris
skip a little bit.
II.
How could I not hit that? I can even talk about this man for 2 seconds, yo. Daddy's up. Let me just say real quick. My pops is all right, doing good. Slow down a little bit, of course. With the age, you know how that goes. But he's still a great musician. Daddy taught me so much. Dr. B, I remember Daddy put me on so much, yo. And of course, you have to be willing to. I'm jumping conversations a little bit, but you have to be willing to go when someone's putting you on to information or teaching. So I thank myself, of course, yes, for willing and wanting to. But the stuff he taught me, Dr. B, the stuff that he took his time out of his life when, fathers are not around for their sons, being that kind of period in life where broken families is a thing. And he really, he put me so in the game, Dr. B, that I got a scholarship from you. This is my father, like, coming in my life 360, and I got a scholarship from you, not just getting a scholarship from you. When I got into college, I could remember people like Melton Mustafa looking at me and saying, man, I want to shed with this dude. I remember my first, that thing, what's that thing where we perform in front of the teachers again? What's that called? Juries.
Juries, yes.
Juries. My first juries. I remember just being able to see him come up to me, shake my hand, and he wants to know who I am in this juries and where did I come from, and can we sit down and shed together? And when we went into that, man, that just let you know that my father, because all I was doing is at that point too in my life was imitating the greatest musician that I knew would be my father. I was, when you love something, you imitate it. When when you truly respect something, you imitate it. So I imitated my father for years, and he through Daddy, he just got me into college for free. And like I say, it's not him necessarily. I have to be willing to wanting to, but the things that he taught me, just it put me on a different level to everybody, well, my peers at the time, whether it's recording, He made me sit down and do my engineering, whether it's becoming a good gigging artist, understanding to tap into the people that's around you. Don't just I call it jerking off. Don't just go do a gig and jerk off.
Mm.
Masturbation music. We don't got no time. You know, this he taught me how to watch the crowd, feel the crowd. Understand that when you're doing music, Fred, it's like a baby. It's these little things that took me to the next level. It's like you say, Fred, if you're doing music and you don't think of it like a little child, like how you would raise how you would raise and want your baby to be fed and stuff like that in the moments of him crying, you're not truly respecting and listening to the music. You're not taking it. You're not giving it what it has to be given by just giving it notes. When a baby cry, you don't understand sometimes, like, and this is my father talking to me. You don't understand what that cry is. So sometimes, as a parent, and being a parent of music would be the line that I'm drawing.
Yeah.
You totally you just hear the baby cry, and it's like doing arranging or producing a song. You hear the baby cry, and then you just stick a bottle in his mouth, proof, without realizing that every song, baby, has a different cry.
Right.
And you got to know what that cry is. That baby may cry, and it's not to push a bottle in his mouth. All you have to do at the time was go change his Pampers, and he would have shut up right there. And it was perfect. But you over here shoving a bottle in his mouth, shaking him up and down, running around the house, crying, screaming, all this craziness because you're not listening to the cry of the baby. Same thing with the music. And my father taught me little things like that. You know, you at a gig, you listen to the song, what it's crying for in that moment. In that moment, because all the elements of life is affecting that music, this moment that we're having. So what it cried for yesterday, it may not be the same thing as today. People may be in the corner over there. You know, the modal system of the day is different. So I've learned so much from my father, like listening to cries, music,
Mm. Would you,
anything in the moment of music for what it needs and not what you want to give it.
what would you say is the most important thing that you've learned from your father, Freddie Harris II? Amazing guitarist, musician.
Dr. B, there you go with them. You ask them weirdly common weird questions. Like it's like that's another weird one again. I would have to sit down and really tap into that.
Mm.
Daddy, man, I would have to. Oh my gosh, so much, yo. And it's not really the life. I mean, it's not really the music. It's the music is life process that
Say that again.
really uh
Say that again, Freddie. What you said?
it won't be about teaching me about music, right? Or just teaching me about life. Is the process of teaching me that music is life. Is what actually is the greatest thing because he made it so simple for like school and stuff like that. People would look at me, they look at me like the average. A lot of people like to look at me like an average thug, drug dealer. This, because I got the look, black, 6 feet tall, this, that, the third, you know, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, just the little things my father taught me allowed me to be valedictorian of my high school when I graduated. You know, and that's not just like my brother say, yo, friend, I didn't see you coming home with a book every day, and you didn't even come home with a book bag, yo. You was smoking weed. You know, these and little things like how did you do that? You know, and it's the format that my father gave me on Music is Life that just Dr. B, he just put it this way, even in college, they you could look at me for 2 seconds. You could look at me like I know Freddie just drifted through this shit. He probably ain't even doing his homework. He ain't going to school the right way. Blah 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 blah. And then I still leave cum laude with a degree with a cum laude on top of that too. You know, so it's just and without even trying, because in that period, Dr. B, you know, if you know me right, you know I'm coming straight from the studio, straight to school. I didn't even sleep yet. I'm going straight from the school to the gig. I'm coming back from the gig straight back to the studio to record, to practice with my father. only to stay up all night to get a 5, 6, 7, 8 in the morning to come back and hit school again and do this every single day.
That
No sleep
discipline.
for 3, 4 days straight. This is the kind of sacrifice you gotta. But it's what you put in is what you get, no more, no less. We like little computers out here. They say, what you see is what you get with a computer. What you put in is what you get, no more, no less. So the time you put in, and you know this too, Doc. The time. What Daddy taught me with me, how music is life, and the time application and stuff like that. Just those little things just help me see school, education, life on a more simple yet still complex, but allow to simplify life for me, so it doesn't feel like such a kick in a. It feels like a walk in the park almost.
Wow,
And I
that
gotta
is
thank Daddy for that
music is
because it
life.
makes you play better. It makes you think better. It makes you approach the music better. Daddy said music is life. He said music is a intricate delegate designed to create any kind of illusion, ranging from the highest heights to the deepest depths. Music is life. Eat it, live it, sleep it, enjoy it.
Wow,
He
you've taken
simply
his
said
words
that
to
to me.
heart, man.
Man, I had to really tap in for that one. He said that to me. And when I saw that, and that's my father's poem. So it's literally a poem that he used to just write. I saw that. I, he said music is the highest form of science. When I understood how music was the highest form of science, I started to understand the art of, okay, I'm in a club today. I'm playing. All right, it's a little too boring in here. Let me start to tap into the mind. I could be playing some music, Dr. B. I could be playing whatever, and you walk in with your boyfriend in the club, and I play the song that you and him broke up to. The song that you came in the room and you caught him kissing that other girl to. And right then and there, the good time y'all was having, I just made that thing a living hell. Now she looking at you crazy. This fucking guy, and I could go and in the same beat, the next song I play, I could play the song you guys first kissed to, and change the whole flavor of the room. That's just in 2 songs. That's like a song is basically 2 to 3 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I could change the color of people's lives so fast and put us through so many emotions. When I started understanding how really music is life, I I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. This thing is for real. I'm over here playing with people's emotions. That's why I don't play with people's emotions. That's why when you play it, it's a serious thing. You taking a solo is not just to play a bunch of notes and say, oh, I rap up these please. No. You have to selectively choose these notes that make people feel a type of way on the inside. You're playing with the modal system. This is the highest form of science. You're a scientist at this point.
That's
And you don't play with science.
responsibility.
Yes, that's just what I was gonna say. You don't play with that. That's a serious thing. This is chemistry. This is formulas and stuff. You're playing with people hard. You can play the wrong amount of notes that'll make a person have a heart attack, Dr. B. I
Mm.
can play the wrong set of notes. Music is it's like a Bruce Lee approach. You could you could you could you could fight. Yo. To talk about this just really quick, right? Just saying on the whole Bruce Lee approach thing. The other day, I'm talking to the homies and we had this whole thing on. They go, yo, Fred, yo, this is different. Sometimes, Dr. B, I plot out in my life. Preparation is key. You fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So I prepare certain little solos or something like that. Sometimes something I feel like let me prepare for this occasion, and I prepare a little, this or whatever the case is, and people will look at me and be like, Fred, yo, how you prepared this little piece of da 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 da. Dr. B, preparation is key. I need our panmen to know Charlie Parker. I need them to understand this. Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, that solo that you hear, I only say this, Dr. B, because it's going 360. I only learned that John Coltrane solo because of you. You made me transcribe that in college, Giant Steps. From transcribing Giant Steps, Dr. B, I ended up transcribing Donna Lee.
Right.
That's the inspiration. That's what I'm talking about, the experience. And from transcribing that, it's like, you learn that preparation is the key. Pan men and pan women. John Coltrane and Charlie Parker did not make that solo up in the moment, on the spot. Okay? Preparation is key. So sometimes I may prepare solo, like I may have little prepared solos, like in Misty and stuff like that. I just prepare. It doesn't say that I could do a million things in the moment on the spot. But music is a serious thing, and if you don't prepare, you're feeling prepared, prepare to fail.
That's it.
You have to. I hate when pan men and women think that, oh God, I go smoke 2 spliff and drink a Hennessy and a this, and I go outside feeling nice and my head bad, and I go take a solo any moment and it go come out like avant-garde jazz and this. No. You sit down and you work this stuff out. When you play them solos and when I first transcribed Giant Steps, when you made me transcribe that, Dr. B, I had the chance to learn the lesson that, oh, this just don't happen overnight. This don't happen. You don't solo like this on the spot because you just learned 2 or 3 licks and you put it together in your head. And no. It's called preparation is key. You sit down, you study those chords, and you speak. You start spelling. You spell. You really tie that stuff up the right way. You learn to spell good, one word, small word. You learn to spell it, at, but, the. Next thing you know, you're spelling dispensary, inquisitive. You understand what I'm saying? This
Yes, you're linking it together.
Thank you. And that was from transcribing Giant Steps. So now, where a couple of years ago when I just transcribed the Donna Lee for Charlie Parker, I got a chance to learn. Preparation is key,
Preparation.
This is a preparation. It's a preparation thing, And the time you put in is what you will get. I was in theory with Dr. Mustafa, and he started teaching us about the circle of fifths and fourths. This is important. This is for all tenor players. This is super important. He started teaching me the circle of fifths and fourths. And it was the first time I really got to sit down and I understood in that theory class that the tenor pan is the greatest instrument in the world. I didn't know. I didn't understand why. I just know I like the instrument. But when I saw how the tenor pan was set up into the circle of fifths and fourths, there's a time he thought I was cheating, actually. He's like, man, you just sit up in my class, you answer all the questions, you don't say nothing, and then you come and do this. What are you doing? At the time, he didn't know. He already taught me the circle of fifths and fourths. So if you ask me a question like, how many flats is in E flat, I'm just looking at my tenor pan and I'm just going 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All I just got to count is how far away it is from C. I'm answering all these intelligent questions like at the tip of my tongue because of the instrument that I play. I mastered that, circle. So the circle of fifths and fourths. I need everybody to know this one too. The circle of fifths and fourths is related and directly could place it on a tenor pan, and it's the same thing. And why I say music is life, and I had a chance to understand this from another perspective, because that same circle of fifths and fourths, and you place it on that same tenor pan, and then you put the circle of life on top of all of this, you don't even have to move it. It all correlates with each other. It's like a clock with the gears ticking together. They move with each other. It's nothing. Circle of fifths and fourths, the circle of life, and your tenor pan is the same thing. I'm answering questions in science because of my tenor pan. I'm answering questions in math because of the math on my that I'm doing on pan. So the second nature, like I say, with the valedictorian thing, all of this is because the circle of life, the circle of fifths and fourths, and the tenor pan, the circle of the tenor pan, is the same thing. If you master those, if you master one of the three, you master all.
What advice would you give to somebody who is just getting into the field?
I say for anybody that's getting into the field, I made this up. Okay. Two things. One more thing before we go to something that me and you had the other day. But if you are to get into music right now, I think before you actually think about being that guy or that woman, you need to get your PhD in music. Stop for a second. Doc, you might say in this moment, "Hey, Freddie, you know how you do? I have my PhD in music." We know this. Not that PhD I'm talking about, though, Doc. That's not the PhD I'm talking about. Not that one. We know you got that one. Anybody getting into this music game, you got to have a PhD. And that PhD would be based on persistence, being humble, humility, and determination. Those three words right there, they have to come together for you in the right way. Persistence, humility, determination. If you got that in music, I guarantee success for you. But you gotta have
humility,
persistence, humility, humble, determination. The humility just means that you're teachable. Don't take it as a thing that you gotta humble yourself. Humble just means that you're teachable. And to be teachable helps you to transcend with the time. And how this music moving, man, 3, 6 months, every other 2 months is a new genre popping up. You can't even keep up with the genres now. You got to be humble so that you can transcend. And you mean, like I say, all it means is you're teachable. You're persistent. You're ready to get up and go at it every single day. You're ready to put in that twerk. Not that work, because we twerking now, Dr. B. You know, they don't work no more. Everybody twerking. You got to be willing to get up every day and put in that twerk. You know, and you have to be determined. Determination. Not just persistent, determined, Dr. B. You know, the other day, I thought about something that a moment me and you had back at college would be, I said, I was talking to you a day, and I'm always saying, like, I say what's on my mind. I talk. Sometimes I just ramble because it's on the forefront. It's here, so I'm gonna say it. And I'm talking to you a day, and I said something, and I said, you know, because I like to consider myself to be like a little Caribbean American out here, which means I said I want to consider myself to be an Amaribian. I remember this day, yo. I remember this, and then you call. These things make me feel good. These is like things that actually in my life made me feel like, oh shit, Fred, you doing something. You actually got a mind, man. You working with something out here. You called me back in the office that day. You go, Fred, I'm gonna talk to you real quick. I said, I'm like, okay, what's good? He said, you used a word the other day with me, and I just want to know, that's the kind of person you are, Dr. B. You know, you're one of my influences. You're one of the people I look forward to being like in this world. You're one of the people I look up to. You're one of the people that just set me and you changed my life, you know? So I respect the way you do things. It makes me do things the way I do things, the way I move with people. I don't like to steal from people. I don't like to just, like, I like to go about things the right way. One of these things would be the way you approach me this day in school. And you call me into the office and you go, Fred, you used the word with me the other day. I want to know where'd you get that from? Or I said, I made that up. You know what I'm saying? You said you used this word Amaribian. You said I like that, and I'm gonna tap in with that. You know, blah 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 blah. I was like, yo, Doc, that's just something I made up. I think it's just a perfect word between American and Caribbean. Yeah, it's just a perfect Amaribian, and it sounds like. And you called me in the office, and I walked out the office that day. I was like, you know something? This woman just made me feel like a whole grown ass man right now. I feel like this shit. And you gotta remember, I'm just coming up, right? But I feel because greatness just asked me about something cool. You know, greatness just came up to me and said, "Hey, Fred, yo." So I walked out the office. I was feeling great that day too. Yo, so you embody that feeling to take you for the rest of the day. So sometimes, you're not feeling too good, Dr. B, not going through the best of days. So you just get a one moment of greatness, and all of a sudden you feel like the greatest thing walking that day. You embody the feeling, and now you exude it in everything that you do, walk, play, so things like that. Yo, Dr. B, once again, thank you again, because it's the experience that people don't even understand that this is what we paid for. This is what we paid for. We didn't pay for this room. Gee, this room is not worth that much money. The experience is what we paid for, So the experience and stuff, Dr. B, a lot of the things that I went through in college with you and stuff, thank you. A lot of the things you told us, a lot of things you indirectly taught us, the messages, the persistence, you put that stuff inside of us. The gigs, I remember, and one more thing I want to say. One of the things that also a big moment for me in Florida Memorial College was we were going to a gig. We were going to a show. I just came up from I just got the scholarship, and we was going to our first performance in Tallahassee.
I remember.
For me, for me though, for me, that was that. But you guys did it before. This was my first one. And we were on a bus, Dr. B. I gotta give you this story. And then we could do anything after this. We could say bye or anything, but I gotta give you this one here. And we on a bus, and it's Mark and all these guys and stuff from choir, ambassador choir, and gospel choir and all that. So we going up, and I guess the year before the band must have played, and they still have a tent on the steel band in the school at the time. And we on a bus. It's me, Kyle. I don't even think Astor was there at the time, but me, Kyle, Redman. It was that crew. It was my first one, like the Gerard, and a couple more cats, Marlon, stuff like that. And we on a bus, and we heading up. And all I'm hearing before I got on that bus, Dr. B, and on the way up on that bus, and I'm not gonna call no names, but I'm telling this story. On the bus, I'm hearing from the ambassador, from the chorale and stuff. Oh my, yo, it's Florida, so I'm giving you the story exact. Yo, these niggas going up here to play garbage cans, dog. Yo, son, oh my God. Yo, these niggas is over here. Yo, the joke started. Dr. B, we on the bus, but then I'm watching around. I just came down from New York. I got my little sense of thug in me at the end of the day. But I'm watching the rest of the band, and I'm watching the chorale and the gospel musicians, because they some good musicians too. There's some good cats in there, And I'm watching them. They dissing us. They got jokes, Dr. B, all the way up to Jacksonville. It was right. It's Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way up to Jacksonville, they got jokes on the bus. These niggas gonna play garbage cans. Yo, I can't believe and it's just. And I'm listening. I'm sitting next to Kyle at the time, because me and Kyle now get to know each other.
Kyle Hill.
And I'm like, yeah, Kyle Hill. I look at Kyle that moment. I'm like, yo, Kyle, you don't hear these cats, man? I said, y'all don't be saying none of them, dogs. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't even study them. How Kyle is. I ain't even study, but Kyle a beast. Kyle's a big, gentle beast at the end of the day. He's an animal. Strong up and all that, right? But he's gentle. He's studying that, and I have to go to school. I'm like, no, nigga, I don't want to hear that. Man, no shit about I had to go to school. Now I got a vendetta on my back. I'm listening to all this going up on the bus for a good 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. I don't know how long we were going for. I'm listening to this and they joking and they laughing and all right, I got something. Obviously, y'all ain't hear the steel band from a perspective yet. Y'all tripping right now. Okay, we get up. Boom, gig start. We set up. They still joking, Dr. B. While we setting up, the Snickers are still going down. They know it. Anybody hear this interview that was there, they know what I'm talking about right now. And the Snickers going down, and they got their little insider, Kyle, everybody, and they just Gerard and them, they just chilling. You know, everybody's humble. That's why Gerard and these guys are great too. They got the art of humility. They're humble guys. They're real chill, you know. And I just couldn't be humble at the time. There's no humble inside of my playing. And that when that moment, no, I'm sorry. But we start to play now. We started. Dr. B, for the first song, the vendetta in the back of my mind was, I am coming here to play like y'all never heard in y'all whole born life. I don't care. Trumpet, piano, I don't care what instrument you ever listen to. You're going to listen to this instrument today like you never. And you're going to put some respect on my band. Put some respect on my band, first of all. Let's do that. Put some respect on my band. Jay-Z would have did it too. Put some respect on my band. You feel me? Let's start there. Start there. But Doc, we started from that first solo in. I started turning up from the gate because I'm already entering with the mindset of, oh, hell no. And I started burning up. We started with morning dance or something like that. Now, I kill that morning dance if we just went into something else. And I'm killing everything on a mentality. It's not even the, oh, I know these special notes or no. It's just a mentality. It's mindset at the end of the day now. When we finished and we came home after that trip, Dr. B, all the way down on that bus from Jacksonville all the way to Miami, I never heard how great the steel band was. I never heard so much how great the steel band was. All I'm hearing back to back is, yo, these niggas wild out. Yo, did you see that? Did you hear that? I had to sit there for 2 seconds, and that little personal vendetta for carrying that sword, because that drum is a sword. We talking a drum in Africa, we talking a sword, carrying a sword on your back, yo. When you carrying that drum on your back, ain't nobody gonna play me like that. Not this samurai type of cat over here. You're not gonna, I'm pulling out my sword on you. So from that day all the way down, from that moment after the gig, the steel band, because before this, we was just a garbage can at that time. These niggas going over here. Dr. B, after that, I have never heard all through that humanities building the next day, oh my, yo, y'all niggas know how to play. Oh, son, y'all be playing jazz and blues and this, that, the third. I was like, yup, I don't want to ever in my life. I ain't say it outright. I didn't say, but in my mind, all I'm thinking is, I don't ever in my life get nobody this steel band when I'm in this college here. You say anything about this steel band, I'm coming for your neck. And I'm not coming to fight you physically. I'm coming with notes that I'm going to make sure you hear things you dreamed about. I don't care what instrument you play. They have nothing to do with this is a pan and this is a trumpet or a sax. No, it's music we playing. And I'm going to pull out some tricks out that bag and I'm going to make y'all cry tonight. And that's kind of thing. And once again, 360 all the way back around. So what my father taught me, he taught me to be this type of guy.
Going to be listening out for your album, the next one.
You know the vibes. It's going down. This is going to be special. I got my little drummer. I've been teaching him from this guy. I took him with me from Panorama when I was arranging for all of that. We didn't even talk about all of that, but I took it from me for Panorama. I was arranging for Sesame Fly Snows. Then I made my own band. Dr. B, I got a chance to bring my own band. You know, that's why I love you. I got a chance to take, instead of bringing Sesame Flyers, I got a chance to bring Steel Explosion, my own band. I got a chance to build it from scratch, buy the pans, buy the racks, get the, invest in the pan yard. All of this with no grants, Dr. B. I love pan. All of this with no grants, no upfront money, no help money, no nothing. Me and my sister, you know my sister Tamika, we started my Steel Explosion band. We went to Panorama, a whole bunch of novice kids, Dr. B. These kids never played pan in their life. But guess what? That same drummer that I got from, he was 13, like 13 years old when I was when I started working with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now we in the studio, and if you hear that boy drum, Dr. B, he is a personal. That boy is a personal. That's a personal project of mine, Dr. B. And I put a lot of love into him. His name is Zephaniah Hodge. And this next album, just starting from the root up, because the album is special. I'm building from just drum, and pan alone being the nucleus of what's happening, and everybody else is just
like icing.
It's just like petals of a flower. Yeah, petals of a flower, basically. So it's like how would I say? This one is going to be special because the love and the time. It's like playing with my father. Me and this drummer, we put in so much. He understands how I play. He from 13, and now he's so solid, Dr. B. If you ever need a drummer for some bad situation, the boy is so solid. I've invested so much into him. He's sensitive to the music. So with that being in mind, this next album, it has to hit. And going back to the trap thing, and why I say it has to have a solid thing between me and him as the drummer, is because drums, and why I said that 808, those drums and those 808s is it's important. It's a special thing in trap music. So if that's not the connection, that drum and that melody ain't tight and that bass ain't locked in together, you have no formula. You have no trap. So I'm taking my time to
What's the name of the album?
I love them.
What's the name of the album?
I can't even just make one on the spot and try to even front this one off, Dr. B. I don't know yet. I really don't, because I've been coming up with some really cool names throughout the years and stuff, but I don't know yet. But I know by the time I'm midway through, I'm going to have the righteous name for it. I got to feel it off of the project, really. I got to hear the project, feel it, and then come up with the name. I feel like I'm putting the carriage in front of the horse if I come up with the name first, just a little bit, but I'm feeling where I'm going with the project, and I know where I'm going with the project. I know the places but I want to feel and hear some of it and say to myself, this is like looking at the boy come out of the mother, and he holds him up and he says, "This is Mufasa." Yeah. He's gonna be the kid that ruler of all, but you gotta feel him. You gotta put him in your hands and hold him up to the circle of life and be like, this is gonna be wrong, so I have to have that feeling on this album.
Yeah.
I have a couple cool names in mind, but I really gotta feel it to just be like, oh, this is that. This is that,
Well, I'm going to be looking out for it.
It's coming, dog. I don't play, I'm not playing. No. I'm on like I said, I'm probably at like my 25th, 26th album. And and by the way, I do instrumental albums too, because that's also a thing in hip hop. So I do instrumental album, and the instrumentals are 25 songs and better on each album. They're not 12-song albums. Wow. So my smallest album with my least amount of songs would be 12, and 25 would be my most on any. I probably got about 6 albums out of 25 songs.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And I'm ending my convo on this one. Petals and them flowers back there. You see them little flowers you got back there? As a matter of fact, and since I'm not there live to give you these flowers, right? Being a period right now where you have to give people their flowers, because there's a lot of people out here kicking a bucket. There's a lot of people out here that not getting chance to, get their flowers. So that set of flowers behind you, Dr. B, right now, when you turn around and look at them flowers and you pick it up next time, just know, Freddie Harris is giving you your flowers today. Right. You are a great woman. You are everything it should be and more. I'm sorry, and I love you, and I tell it to the world every time I see him. That is the woman of Pan.
Thank you, Freddie. Freddie, you turned this last 15 minutes around from being about you to being more about me. But
you deserve it.
Thank you.
You deserve it, Dr. B. You deserve it. I'm telling you, you deserve it.
Thank you.
Made me a better man.
Thank you. Well, thank you for checking in with me, and love you. Keep going up and up and up. Keep doing what you're doing, and
Let's
and
go.
I appreciate you. Welcome to Checking In with Dr. B. In addition to our video podcast, we invite you to join our Jumpstart network at keepyourjoyandrise.com. There you'll have access to questions and answers with our guests, virtual meetups, and opportunities to suggest and participate in workshops and spur-of-the-moment talk and jam sessions. We are creating a community of positive thinkers and doers. Come join.